Hey, what's going on? It is halftime or nearing that as the Los Angeles Rams looking to kick a field goal into the break and will presumably go up 17-14 on Tampa Bay. It's Monday Night Football, which means halftimes become Tullamore D.E.W time. It's hashtag Tully time. Nordo from 9 to noon on the Fan with you here, joined by my weekly and daily cohort, Paul Allen. How you doing, my friend?
What's going on, man? Happy Monday. Good first half. Captain Cool going against the Rams in the color rush all whites. Jalen Ramsey playing really well. Looks good.
Absolutely. What do you think? I mean, getting to the purple for a moment, what do you think maybe the most surprising part of that debacle was yesterday, given that really all week it was kind of the feeling that we didn't see, given how the team had been playing, that they could lose this one, and obviously they do.
Yeah, the biggest surprise was that they lost. And quite honestly, the farther removed from the game, the more frustrated I get that they did lose. And it's not like, I'm thinking Super Bowl 5-5 goes through the purple and gold, but they were hot and doing some things well. Having watched back a fair amount of plays, Nordo, it's very frustrating what happened on that game closing touchdown tomorrow, 9 to noon. At 10 o'clock, I'm going to go over some covenant clarity with about 5 plays that I think require explanation. That was a disaster. I mean, just an absolute disaster. I have no idea what Eric Kendricks was doing. Anthony Harris, Gladney got lost. I mean, we just hadn't seen that in so long that's frustrating, man.
Yeah, it is indeed. I was listening. Dan Barrero gets to talk with Andre Patterson every week, still doing defensive line work, but also co-defensive coordinator. And listening to his comments earlier today on Bumper to Bumper, kind of the idea that Tony Pollard long run, the Vikings hadn't given up a rush play in more than a month, and that was one of many things the Vikings did Sunday that was uncharacteristic of recent winning ways. But he kind of said that play looked and worked exactly how it was supposed to. The wide receiver for Dallas cracks, I think it was Anthony Harris. And so the free runner, which becomes Chris Jones, he's got to make that tackle. And I think his quote was, paraphrasing, basically, I have no idea why Chris Jones didn't shoot his gun on that play. So, clearly he's watched the play back, maybe more coy than you'd anticipate him being too public with in degrading a player. But everyone's kind of out on Chris Jones in that moment.
Well, I heard the interview, and Chris Jones is number 26 for the Vikings, and I say that way because he's so new that, Trey Waynes wore 26 and Antoine Winfield. So, I mean, he's a new player, and he's only played a few games with the Vikings. As I said on the radio today, in my opinion, it was completely unacceptable the way he handled it because he could have at least slowed the running back in a game where every point obviously was important. Now, Andre and I, as you know, are very good friends, and I'm going to respectfully disagree with what I heard him say, simply because I've watched the playback 5 times. Now, either 90 Jalen Holmes, the left defensive end, was getting held, or he couldn't get off a block. So I need that defensive end to do a better job, personally speaking, close that hole a little bit. But that's 15% of the entire thing, where the cornerback was 85. But that was just part of it, man. I mean, we'll talk more about it tomorrow, 10 o'clock, 9 to noon.
Absolutely. As you watch Conversations with Nordo, it is Tully time, halftime, Tampa Bay and the LA Rams. And you see in my kitchen here, thanks to Tullamore D.E.W, I'm going to fire up a cocktail called the Irish Painkiller, PA, which I think in some ways is fitting, given that we were manhandled yesterday and held victorious the Red Rocket, or the Red Rifle himself, Andy Dalton. Apparently, all redheads are Irish, or at least most of them are.
Hey, when we did this last time, I left, and I shouldn't have left so early. Are you and your wife going to argue during Tully time again? Is that going to happen like last time, or are you going to get admonished or whatever? Because I saw the video of it, man, and I wish I was there for it. It looked like it was awesome.
It was short. It was sweet. I was told I'm not allowed out of the basement after 8 p.m. I was disobeying curfew.
Yeah.
And these days, it's all about curfew and obeying certain rules. So as we know, don't get your hands slapped by those that oversee. your life. Now, it's, one thing that popped today, Adam Thielen on the COVID list, and I think the Vikings do it kind of the right way is, if he either tested positive or he was near somebody that has recently tested positive, but kind of an unknown into a week against these Carolina Panthers after such a tremendous performance on Sunday, the vision that I have of being without Thielen is twofold. It's we love the guy and he makes plays, but then it's like Justin Jefferson getting a shot to show what he can do solo as a number one. What do you think about it?
Yeah, I don't feel like having a game without Adam. I mean, personally. Now, when something like this pops up with the COVID, and you know this, man. I mean, they're not going to by law say whether somebody got bit or somebody was by somebody who the high level exposure. Like Myles Garrett for the Browns, interesting. They knew he was going to be problematic Thursday or Friday, and already have said he won't play next Sunday. So I'm going to speculate that he has coronavirus. Just going to guess. I'm not going to do that with Adam because he played yesterday. To play yesterday, he has to test Saturday and Sunday. So obviously those checked out. I'm hoping this is a situation where he goes 5 consecutive days, not detected, gets himself right back out there.
Isn't it kind of amazing at this stage as we built this up and you see all these leagues having to live through this and work and navigate all these roadblocks that the Aaron Rodgers of the world, I mean, think about like Mahomes getting bit for the Chiefs after you watch him do the one-man show against the Raiders the other night. I mean, just, and in the vein of health, every player is equal. I don't think anyone's denying that. But from a football standpoint, Patrick Mahomes getting bit versus, third string tackle, that's a bit different. And it's kind of amazing that we haven't seen that across the league at all. Like Captain Cool getting bit, HOF, that would be a big story.
Yeah, I'd be flabbergasted and honestly absolutely blown away if any high-ender in the NFL this year actually gets coronavirus and has to miss 2 games. Now, I mean, you could say Andy Dalton, okay, familiar name, not high-ender. Maybe Myles Garrett. Mahomes, Tom Brady, players like that. I mean, that they're in bubbles. They're in bubbles by their own volition because they know there are so many who are counting on them to come through on so many levels. They're just going to sacrifice A, B, C, D, and E in their lives for X amount of months to be able to make this happen. NFL's been terrific during this entire thing. It's, getting tested once or twice a week through BioReference with the Vikings and seeing how the testing patterns and things with the swabs and how things have changed over the last couple of weeks since these numbers got worse. And now the NFL is going mandatory masks on the sideline for those not in the game. So doesn't matter at this point whether you believe in it, like it or not. It's your choice. If you don't want to wear it, then don't take your check. If you do, then wear it. And the NFL is very proactive with all of this. I've been very impressed.
A couple more for you so you can go and check your email. Teddy Bridgewater returning to US Bank Stadium on Sunday. That's kind of cool, right?
Yeah, I'm going to tape an interview tomorrow with Mike Zimmer, the head coach for X's and O's. KFAN, 6:30 Wednesday evening. We play it back Thursday, 9 to noon. I'm going to get into Teddy early, and I'm going to get into that steamy August Tuesday in 2016, Winter Park in Eden Prairie, 2 days after he hit Kyle Rudolph on a beautiful matinee touchdown, preseason game number 3, San Diego Chargers.
Wasn't it Berkovici playing for the Chargers or something like that?
Say it again.
Berkovici or something like that, if you remember some of those.
I don't know, man. But, when Teddy went down on that Tuesday, Berkovici, Don Mikowski, Sid Luckman, I mean, they take anybody at that moment because being at that practice and remembering the pall that came over Winter Park for about 3 hours, man, I just sat on a hill for like 90 minutes just chatting with somebody because Teddy goes down, it gets really scary. Because like you knew from 50 yards away it was bad and you're not going to run up on it. Then you start hearing the sirens and then you see the ambulance. Whoa, ambulance came up to the field. Yeah, I mean, it was bad. And Zimmer right next to it. I'm going to roll the dice that it's probably the most devastated and or scared Mike has been professionally in his life. And we're going to talk about that on the radio, man. I'm really excited to get into that with him.
Looking forward to it. Last thing, let's just pretend that I don't know. What do we got going on tomorrow, 9 to noon?
We got Berkovici at 9. Then we're going to have Don Mikowski at 9:15. We're going to go over the history of Carolina Panthers football, probably with Todd Stussy, but we may go back to like Jake Delhomme and Muhsin Muhammad. Then we're going to finish the show probably promoting Canterbury Park's handicapping tournaments that will be coming up in 2022, sometime in the near future. And go Loons, got a playoff win. All that tomorrow, 9 to noon.
Scarves up, go Loons, go Nordy, and go you. Have a good night, my friend.
Yep. Nordy, talking to Nordy. Bye.
Keep that fire stoked. Paul Allen, 9 to noon. We'll see you tomorrow. Now joining me, though, this is Cocktail Time, brought to you by Tullamore D.E.W, halftime conversations with Nordo. I want to bring Jillian Murphy into the conversation. Jillian, how are you?
Good, Nordo. How are you this week?
Well, I'm good, but I'm kind of disappointed this is our last time hanging out.
I know. We'll have to keep the virtual friendship going and sharing the cocktails.
I have learned so much from you over the last month. I have become a certified mixologist. That is clearly a subjective title, but all the same. But I've really enjoyed working with you. Tullamore D.E.W, it is Tully time. And this aspect of things is really about spicing up and finding different ways to use the delicious Tullamore D.E.W Irish whiskey. And so without further ado, before we get to me, because mine is based on lamentations and negativity, but a way to cheer us all up on a weird Monday following a Vikings loss, I'd like to see what you have cooking for us.
Well, I figured given the week that was in it, it's Thanksgiving this Thursday, as we all know, I'd like to make a nice winter warming cocktail, which you can share with your friends and family at home this Thursday, and I guess through the winter. So what I've got in my glass right now is just some hot water, boiling it up. And if you are making hot cocktails at home, make sure that you've got hot water in your glass for a couple of minutes beforehand, because there's nothing worse than a lukewarm drink. So I'm going to dump out this cocktail, or this water. And what I'm going to do is make a spiced Irish cider. Do you like the sound of that?
Oh, I'm into it. Okay. This is awesome.
All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to start by putting the 2 ounces of Tullamore D.E.W straight into my preheated glass. In it goes. Nice, healthy pour. And now I've just taken a good quality apple cider and I put this in the microwave for about 3 minutes. So it's quite hot. And we're just going to top it up. Now, this is such an easy cocktail, which anybody can make at home. It does not take a genius. And you're going to impress everybody at that holiday party. So I've got that in there, and now I've got a cinnamon stick. This is my secret ingredient, and you're going to look with this. So dump it straight into the cocktail, and then we're just going to give it a whirl. And it is that easy. And this is really going to warm you up from the inside out, impress your friends and family, and keep everybody merry this holiday season.
Oh, fantastic. That's the perfect drink for Thanksgiving.
Yeah, and you can also make this in a large format as well. If you've got a punch bowl at home, you can do this and heat it up in the microwave throughout the day. So very easy, no work at all goes into it. Now I want to see what you've got for us today. Okay,
check this out. So here's a question. You born and raised in Ireland, now living in the Chicago area, and you represent Tullamore D.E.W. So I'm going to ask you a really stupid question. Is every person that has red hair, are they Irish?
I don't know if we could say everybody with red hair is Irish, but a lot of us do originate back in the motherland. So,
okay.
Are you thinking of someone in particular?
I contacted like Celtic International. I've been on the phone all day trying to find out if Andy Dalton is Irish. Why does that matter? He was a starting quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys. And he, along with Ezekiel Elliott, 180 rushing yards, it was a freaking disaster. And so I need relief. So I am making a drink called the Irish Painkiller, okay? Irish Painkiller, courtesy of Tullamore D.E.W. Here's what you need. You need a shaker. You don't need an ice bucket, but I have one. Side note on ice buckets, by the way, these little scoops are awful. They're just pointless for cubes that fridge makes. So sanitize your hand, do all of those things, and just use your mitt. Let's get that going. What you will need: 2 ounces already poured of delicious Tullamore D.E.W Irish whiskey. Next. Oh yeah. Look at that jiggle. 2.5 ounces of pineapple juice. Okay. In case you're curious, 2.5 ounces, I believe, is 5 tablespoons. So we got a 1/4 cup. We got a tablespoon. Oh, yes. All set there. Okay. Next. My wife's just laughing at me in the background because she thinks I'm incompetent, and she's mostly right. 1 ounce of coconut milk.
Oh, you've gone tropical.
Absolutely. Why not? It's the only thing that can soothe this pain, an Irish painkiller, following whatever the hell it is that I watched yesterday. 1 ounce of coconut milk, 1 ounce of orange juice. Okay. And
this
finally,
sounds like a nice beachy drink to me.
Yes, indeed, indeed.
Brings you to the Bahamas in your brain.
Yes, we're going to do 1/2 ounce of lime juice. Now, this is where the magic happens. Check, senora. Shake it all the time. Shake, senora. Shake it all the time.
Nice, great song. I love it. You're bringing the energy. Oh.
And this, my friends, is an Irish painkiller and a cheers to Vikings Lamentations as they fall to 4-6 on the 2020 season.
Sláinte to that. How does it taste?
Oh, it's fantastic. Oh,
hitting the spot?
Absolutely delicious. So since this is our last time, I wanted to offer, because I was looking for like an Irish toast or something in morning, given how the Vikings played yesterday. So I'm going to run these by you. You tell me if they work, okay?
All right, I'm listening.
To cheating, stealing, fighting, and drinking, if you steal, may you steal a heart. If you cheat, may you cheat death. If you fight, may you fight for what you love. And if you drink, may you drink with me.
Oh, cheers. That was great. Spoken like a true Irishman. Sláinte.
I feel like I'm from Wexford. Watching football right now. And then lastly, to the past, present, and future, may we drink to celebrate the past, except for yesterday. Yesterday was awful. May we drink to enjoy what is before us. And when our glass is empty, may it only be the start to another adventure. Cheers.
Oh, Sláinte.
And may hell be just as fun as the way there. There we go.
There you go. Well, hopefully this will help you get through a bit of your sorrow from yesterday.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for doing this with me over the last month, Jillian. I've had a total blast. It's been awesome learning drinks and enjoying Tullamore D.E.W.
It's been great to see your skill go from, humble beginnings to the painkiller, the magnificent cocktails that you're making right now. So well done to you. And anybody watching, you can find a whole host of recipes on TullammoreD.com, and Tullamore D.E.W is available at most major liquor stores.
It certainly is. Thank you so much, Tullamore D.E.W. Nice to meet you and work with you over the last month, Jillian.
You too. Sláinte.
Hey, cheers. Tullamore D.E.W. You can find it, TullammoreD.com. She mentioned it. Just about any liquor store out there, you're going to be able to find Tullamore D.E.W. It's delicious. And if you watch these videos, you get to learn how to make really cool drinks. And with that said, second half, Tampa Bay and the Los Angeles Rams are underway. And I think my curfew before I have to hit the basement is about up. So Thank you so much for listening to this. Follow Tullamore D.E.W. and cheers. It's Tully time. It's halftime. And thank you for watching and listening via Facebook, Twitter, and beyond. Listen to The Fan. Check out Tullamore D.E.W. and Jillian. And have a great night. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Cheers.